Hey, are you starting to doze off? I mean, you did most of the driving today, and I've only been at it for a couple hours, so that makes sense. Want me to be quiet so you can get some shut-eye? You like hearing me talk? That's quite the compliment, mister. Alright then, let me think. What can I talk about to accompany your journey into dreamland? I know. Did I ever tell you about my mountain climbing adventure in Colorado last year? Well, get comfy, because this is gonna be a fun ride. So, last year, some buddies and I decided we wanted to climb one of the most beautiful mountains in Colorado. You know, I can't resist a good adrenaline rush. So, one weekend, we all packed up and headed straight for Rocky Mountain National Park. I remember stepping out of the car, feeling the cool, crisp air hit my face. The smell of pine and damp earth was intoxicating. And as we were moving closer to the base of the mountain, I could hear the sound of this distant river flowing and the occasional bird song. It was simply serene. Our first day was dedicated to setting up the camp and getting used to the altitude. We were on the heart of the wilderness, surrounded by trees, rocks, and just the melody of nature all around us. And at night, we sat by the fire, roasting marshmallows and swapping stories under the star-studded sky. The crackle of the fire, the whispers of the wind, it was just so peaceful. The next day was the real challenge. Got our climbing gear and we began our ascent. The sun was just starting to peek over the horizon. The way up was exhilarating. With every step, every handhold, I could just feel my heart race. And not just from the physical exertion, just the views, they were breathtaking. Each time I looked up, the mountains just seemed to stretch endlessly into the sky. And when I looked down, the world seemed so small. I remember reaching a point where the ascent got steeper. I could feel the chill in the air growing stronger, the wind biting against my cheeks. And then, out of nowhere, it started to snow. Tiny flakes, soft and cold, landing on my eyelashes, my hair. It was like a scene out of a movie. There we were, in the middle of this massive mountain, surrounded by nothing but nature, and me covered in a blanket of snow. But you know me, I wasn't gonna let a little snow stop me. We kept climbing, our determination fueling us. By the time we reached the peak, we were exhausted, but the sight that greeted us, it was worth every ounce of our effort. Endless stretches of mountains, valleys, and the clearest blue sky I'd ever seen. I remember feeling a sense of accomplishment and tranquility wash over me. That moment, that incredible view, it's forever etched into my memory. And the way down was a different kind of adventure. The sun began to set, and the sky was painted in shades of orange, pink, purple, and every so often would stop just to take in the view. By the time we reached our camp, it was dark. The stars were our only source of light. We spent the night sharing our experiences, and our laughter would echo against the mountains. That trip was one of the best experiences of my life. Not just because of the thrill of the climb, but because of the peace and tranquility I felt being so close to nature. It was humbling, being reminded of how small we really are in the grand scheme of things. You know, being on the open road with you like this, It kind of reminds me of that sense of tranquility. We're just two tiny people in a vast, beautiful world heading towards another adventure. And you? You're my favorite travel buddy. Hey, you asleep? Not yet. Do you want me to keep talking? Okay, let me think. How about some high school nostalgia? Remember, we were in the same history class senior year, but we didn't really interact much until the day our history teacher decided to assign a group project. You remember Mr. Johnson, right? Strict as a nail, but good man at heart. He randomly paired us for that project. We had to prepare a presentation on the civil rights movement. I remember catching your eye thinking, well, this could be quite the adventure. And it was. We spent hours at the library, digging through the history books, gathering information. You were so passionate about getting the facts right, about telling the story with all its nuances. And then there were those late night phone calls discussing our presentation, our fears about standing in front of the class, our dreams about what we wanted to be when we grew up. That project, it wasn't just a school assignment, it was the beginning of our friendship. The day of the presentation, I was so nervous. But there you were, standing beside me, giving me the courage to face her classmates, to tell a story we had spent so long researching. And we nailed it. I remember the applause, the relief, the shared pride of a job well done. But more than that, I remember the bond we formed during those late night study sessions, those shared moments of anxiety and triumph. You know, sometimes I think about those days, the simplicity of it all, the shared sense of purpose, the thrill of learning something new, the joy of friendship. It was a good time. And it's strange, you know, how something as mundane as a school project can lead to something as beautiful as our friendship. But I guess that's life, isn't it? Full of surprises. Speaking of surprises, I actually have something to confess. Over time, I've come to realize that I have feelings for you. More than just friendship. And I know this might change things between us, but I felt like it was important for you to know. You're asleep, aren't you? Darn it. Well, sweet dreams, my friend. We'll catch up more in the morning.
Hello there, this is Spring ASMR. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my Patreon if you would like to support me, and if you would like to join the Spring ASMR community, check out my Discord server. Links to both can be found in the description of this video. Thank you all. See you next time.